There comes a moment when holding on hurts more than letting go. You keep replaying the same story: what went wrong, who changed, why it ended. But sometimes the closure you're waiting for never comes. The healing begins when you realize that moving on doesn't mean forgetting, it means choosing peace over pain. Today's talk, Move On with Strength, A Fresh Start, is about reclaiming your power, rebuilding your peace, and walking into tomorrow without the weight of yesterday. You're not starting from zero, you're starting from experience. You can't rewrite what happened, no matter how much your heart wants to. The truth is, some things in life will never make sense when you're inside the pain. We replay moments, rethink choices, and wish we had seen the signs earlier, but that cycle only keeps the wound open. Acceptance doesn't mean pretending it didn't hurt, it means saying, I see it for what it was, and I'm ready to move forward. It's the decision to stop resisting what already is. The pain may stay for a while, but when you stop fighting reality, it loses its grip. The question changes from, why did this happen to me, to, what is this teaching me? And that small shift changes everything. Acceptance doesn't erase the past, but it frees you from being defined by it. Strength begins the moment you acknowledge, this chapter ended, but I'm still here, still learning, still capable of peace. You waited for closure that never came, for someone to admit the truth or say they were wrong. But closure is often something we have to give ourselves. Some people cannot meet you where honesty lives. They avoid accountability because facing you means facing their own reflection. You deserve peace even without their explanation. Stop trying to find healing in the same place that broke your trust. Real closure is not a conversation, it's clarity. It's understanding that silence can speak louder than any apology. When you decide that your healing no longer depends on their response, you take your power back. Let their story end where it needs to. You have nothing left to prove, and you don't need to reopen wounds just to show you've healed. The peace you create within yourself will always mean more than the closure they refuse to give. Every painful experience carries a message, but we often stay stuck focusing on the wound instead of the wisdom. Pain was never meant to be a permanent home, it was a teacher passing through. When you keep asking, why did this happen? You trap yourself in the story, but when you ask, what did I learn? You begin to rise above it. The lesson is rarely about losing someone or something, it's about discovering how strong, patient, and self-aware you've become through the process. You learn what boundaries you ignored, what signs you dismissed, and what kind of peace you want going forward. The pain shows you where healing is needed, not where your life should stop. Every scar is proof that you faced something that could have broken you but didn't. When you start viewing pain as information rather than punishment, you transform it into wisdom, and wisdom can't be taken away from you. Walking away from something or someone you cared for deeply isn't weakness, it's maturity. Detaching with dignity means choosing peace over chaos, even when your emotions beg you to stay. It's realizing that you can love someone and still understand that they're not good for your growth. Detachment isn't coldness, it's clarity. You can care without clinging and forgive without returning. When you step back, you create the space to see things as they really are, not as you hoped they would be. Protecting your energy is an act of self-respect, not selfishness. Not every message deserves a reply, and not every argument needs to be won. Sometimes silence is the most powerful boundary you can set. You detach not because you stopped feeling, but because you finally started valuing your peace more than your pain. After a loss, life can feel like an empty room, quiet, uncertain, and unfamiliar. You may wake up with no sense of direction, wondering what to do with the time and space that pain left behind. But healing isn't just emotional, it's practical. Peace is rebuilt through simple, consistent actions that remind you of stability. Start with your mornings, make your bed, step outside, breathe in the air, and let the light touch your face. Reorganize your surroundings. Clear out what carries old energy. Move your body even when motivation is missing. The point isn't to feel inspired every day, it's to show up for yourself until peace becomes routine. The little disciplines you build, rest, structure, gratitude, become anchors when life feels uncertain. Healing happens in motion, not in waiting for the right moment. Each small act of order strengthens your sense of control, and in that control, you begin to feel safe again. Your calm isn't found by accident, it's something you build, one quiet day at a time. Forgiveness is one of the hardest parts of moving on because it feels unfair to release someone who never said sorry. But forgiveness isn't about letting them off the hook, it's about freeing yourself from carrying what they left behind. You don't forgive because they deserve peace, you forgive because you do. Holding anger keeps you tied to a moment that's already over, while forgiveness cuts that rope. It's not about reconnecting or reopening old doors, it's about closing them without bitterness. You can wish someone well and still choose not to walk with them again. That's strength, not softness. Forgiveness is an internal act, it happens quietly, without announcement. It's when your heart stops reacting to their name, when the memory no longer stings. Forgiving doesn't erase the lesson, it just removes the weight. It's choosing freedom over resentment, and peace over pride. Healing is never a straight line. Some days you'll feel strong and certain, and the next you'll wonder if you've made any progress at all. That's not failure, it's how growth works. Real healing moves in quiet circles, you revisit the same lessons until they stop hurting. Don't measure your progress by speed or comparison. Your path is unique, shaped by experiences no one else fully understands. Be patient with your process. Even when it feels slow, your heart is still mending in unseen ways. Every day you choose calm over chaos, restraint over reaction, you're healing. Trust the timing of your life. What feels delayed is often protection, not punishment. Sometimes the pause is where the transformation happens. The storm may not be gone yet, but you're learning to stand steady within it. Patience doesn't mean waiting without feeling, it means believing that peace will come, and that your effort to stay grounded is never wasted. Every ending feels like a door closing for good, but life has a way of surprising you with new beginnings. The beauty of a fresh start isn't that everything is different, it's that you are. You carry lessons, strength, and wisdom that you didn't have before. A new chapter doesn't erase the past, it redeems it by giving it meaning. Moving on with strength means walking forward without bitterness, knowing that peace is not something given, it's something created. You don't wait for the right moment to start again, you begin where you are, with what's left, and let faith do the rest. Growth doesn't announce itself, it shows up in the quiet ways you handle what used to break you. When you choose hope instead of regret, you open the door to what's next. You may not see the full picture yet, but every step forward is proof that you're being rebuilt, not broken. When you move on with strength, you're not running from your past, you're rising above it. You're choosing peace over pain, wisdom over anger, and calm over chaos. So, take that deep breath. You've made it through everything you thought would break you. This is your fresh start. Share your thoughts below. How are you moving on with strength today?